Okay, let's try this once again. Guys, I am still hurt. I am still hurt. I'm still hurt. I'm still hurt. What hurts me the most is that I cannot believe, even though I'm not surprised that this has happened. I'm in disbelief. Last night was difficult to eat. I saw a comment. Somebody says, I have never been so hurt about a person I've never met before. That's the same position I am in. However, I am a sucker for people who are people's people. People that, like what happened this morning in court. If you look at what Advocate Mnisi was doing, I mean, he was going above and beyond being on the call with the legal aid board. To me, this is how you win people's hearts when you do things because this is another human being. Just because Mina, I'm an advocate, I'm about the justice and money, but I'm also about humanity. That was Mr. Mngomezulu. That was Mr. Mngomezulu. I did suspect at some point because of the length of this trial. We thought this trial would have been done last year or sometime early this year before June. And hence, I believe that Muzisibia's uncle decided to pay Mr. Mngomezulu, be like a private lawyer for Muzisibia. But I know at some point that, because these things like this, especially a high court matter, is not cheap. A high court matter, it is not cheap at all. That is why I feel like the clan, let's give it up for Moses Sibia's uncle. Let's give it up to him. Let's give him his flowers because he deserves them. I know that Moses Sibia is family, and probably because it's family, there might be some obligations to do something like this. Some family members, they'll be like, oh, you can sink and swim if you have to. We don't have that kind of money. And I'm talking people with money, rich, and they can afford to pay an advocate for their loved one to be cleared of a case like this one. And you do also suspect that at some point, somebody's going to say something. Either the wife is going to start complaining like, no, honey, no, this is too much. It's too much. I understand this is your nephew, but it's too much. And now, not because he doesn't see what the wife is saying, but it's blood. It's blood, but then it does get heavy on your shoulders. But this man held on. And we must give him his flowers. Malumeka Muzi, I don't know who you are. But sir, may you lautate please, may it be multiplied 10 times, 50 times, 100,000 times over, because you deserve it. You deserve it. And I believe many people who are in the same position as I am, that's the prayer they have for you. They are back. I'll be back with you guys. Okay, let me finish my thoughts before they resumed in court. Anyways, we'll talk about that in the next video. As I was saying, that it is important that all of us, we give Mr. I don't know if it's Mr. Sibia. This is Muzi Sibia's uncle who took up the responsibility for Muzi to, to have legal representation in Mr. Mngomezulu. But then again, I also I'm sorry, I cannot let this one go regarding the legal aid board, how they dropped Mr. Mngomezulu. I mean, if you look at the chain of events, Mr. Mngomezulu comes on board. Suddenly, MPA comes after him regarding an assault case on his wife, or alleged case on his wife, sometime in 2022 or something like that. And nothing happened until he started taking over this matter. And they were adamant that they were going to prosecute him, regardless whether his wife dropped the charges or not. They said the state is going to carry that because it is a crime that was committed against the state. Just because the wife withdrew the case doesn't mean that the state cannot pursue this matter. Excuse me. I'm sorry, guys. I'm choking from my own saliva. And then, okay, things happened. We saw him going to court because he is good at what he does. And whatever the forces that are out there to make sure that these 5 people, they are convicted, we need to get rid of Mr. Mngomezulu. He's too dangerous. Just like how they got rid of Advocate Tefu. Right? And then the next thing, he was intimidated. He had to come to court and report that there are suspicious men that are moving about his home. And we don't know what security measures that were put in place to make sure that he is safe. I don't know. And like I said in my previous video, there are many ways to skin a cat. And I don't know who they are. But for the purpose of this video, we'll just say them. They found a way. And here we are today. It is not easy not to speculate. It is not easy not to be suspicious. And the part that really grinds my cheese is what transpired on Monday. The lies they told on Mr. Mngomezulu being in court. So clearly, it was all to discredit him. Because you did see the 30%ers, all they went to town with that. They went to town that Mr. Mngomezulu is lying that he's ill. Now, what are they saying? What picture was being painted about Mr. Mngomezulu on Monday inside the courtroom by the judge, the investigating officer, and the court marshal? To a point where Mr. Msholo said it's a lie with emphasis. And then he was like, what if it is the judge president that saw him? Still a lie. Look where we are right now. So the odds were stacked up against Mr. Mngomezulu from the get-go, and they just kept increasing to where we're at right now. The odds still stack up against the 5 accused. Because suddenly now, the Legal Aid Board is concerned about the legal representation of Mr. Mngomezulu. What's the difference between now and then when they decided to yank out Mr. Mngomezulu to sponsor accused number 1? Same thing. It's still legal representation. All that Mngomezulu did was to exercise his constitutional right to an attorney, to a legal representation. Now, because the matter is de novo and you're putting 4 people on Legal Aid Board as the one that is represented by that problematic one. No, let's pull it out. Let him go and suffer. That to me is still unconstitutional. What happened? How Mngomezulu was funding his own legal representation when it was not his fault that this trial was de novo. It was not, irrespective of whether he chose a free lawyer or he chose his own. It's still not his fault that this trial was de novo. And he ought to have been given the opportunity to choose his own private lawyer that the Legal Aid Board would have sponsored, just like it did with all the other accused. So the target here was Mr. Mngomezulu. The target here was to break Mr. Mngomezulu to a point where when the money that is being paid by Mngomezulu's uncle runs out, at least let's get one if the other 4 are going to be acquitted. At least let's get that one. Yeah, accused number 1, we'll go with accused number 1. Because already we have a problem with his legal representative, Mr. Mngomezulu. The odds were already stacked up against Mr. Mngomezulu from the get-go. And I'm thinking about all of this. I'm like, wow. 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 Yeah, there's no proof. There's no proof. We will talk, 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 speculate, 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 because that's all that we can do. But that doesn't mean we're stupid. It does not mean that we are stupid either. Because you have to look at the chain of events on Mngomezulu. How they tried their level best to kick him out of this case. You just have to follow those chain of events to what happened yesterday on the 10th of December 2024 when he took his last breath. They think they won. You know what? Darkness will never prevail over light, ever. You, as a human being, may have all these resources at your disposal to cause havoc in other people's lives. But one day, I look Shonela now. You too. And the sad part about people like this is that it doesn't come after them. It always goes, it gets inherited by their offspring. And for generations and generations and generations. Yeah, that's the legacy these people leave their offspring. You can be decorated as much as you want to, but the level of devastation you left behind, it's your offspring that are going to pay for it. That's just how life works. So I don't know, guys. I just thought, let me just I was having these thoughts, and I was like, yeah, Mr. Mngomezulu, he was not the favorite. And we saw it as well in that courtroom. He was brave to call things the way they are. But because anyways, guys, please don't leave the video without liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And we need to deal now with what transpired in court, just recently, and see what the way forward is. But guys, let's keep the faith. Irrespective of what just happened, let's keep the faith. We are all hurting. It's going to pass. Mr. Mngomezulu is now at rest, and things are going to look up. Let's see each other later. Bye.